Hi there, and welcome to Live with Shauna Roche with Shaw-Roco Solutions. Tonight we're going to be talking about frequently asked questions on our rent-to-own program. However, before I start and get into the questions, I just wanted to put out a big thank you out there to the Street Smart Real Estate Investing Group, which I'm a proud member of. Yurik Bohol, and you have to apologize, Yurik, if I said your name wrong. This weekend, I participated in a live webinar series. So there was basically 10 webinars of amazing speakers for top investors across Canada sharing their success stories. So amongst those 10 investors and people sharing their stories, one was Tom Thurmeyer, and he's a corporate lawyer, real estate lawyer, amazing gentleman. He's also my corporate lawyer. So if anybody's out there starting a business and you need a corporate lawyer, Tom's the guy to talk to. Also, Michael Ponte, he's a real estate investor and public speaker. I don't know him personally, but his story and just where he's gotten to and where he is today, listening to some of these speakers' success stories were just amazing, where they've come through all kinds of trials and tribulations to get to where they are today. So it's very uplifting and motivating, as well as moving, to hear these stories and wanting to continue moving forward. It's very exciting to be a part of this dynamic group that I belong to. Another speaker was Claire Dragg. She's a real estate investor, as well as she owns a mortgage brokerage company, and she's also a trainer, and she used to teach one of the classes I took called Creative Financing. And then also a big thank you to Jason Meyer, who I've talked to on video a few times. He is basically known as the automation guru. So he wrote a book, I think it's called Automated Millionaire, and he's set up all our systems for our CRM systems for our real estate investing group. So he's a really cool guy. And then next we have Darren Jacklin. I don't know him personally, but amazing story too. Look him up. He's a world-class professional speaker, corporate trainer, investor, and he's literally conquered like amazing life, what he's gone through from a kid to where he is today. He's pretty cool. And then Mark Friends, who is a master in psychology, and I've sat through a few of his webinars, and he's really good to listen to if you're in that space where you're kind of stuck and you don't know where to go to next or what action to take next. He's a really good speaker to listen to as far as help getting you to your next level. One of the other speakers was Shelley Hagan, which I hold her dear to my heart. I love her to pieces. She's a real estate investor as well as a trainer, and she's taught two of the classes I've taken for my real estate investing business. One was wholesale and one was foreclosure and rehab, as well as Shelley's our personal mentor, and she's done my mentorship program with me, and she's a wonderful lady, very successful, been in real estate 17 years, and she's someone I aspire to be down the road. Great lady. Also Russell Westcott. Look him up if you're looking at doing joint ventures. He wrote a book called Joint Ventures. Great book. He's a real estate investor, he's an author, and he's also an inspirational public speaker. He was with Rain Canada for a lot of years. Now he's moved on and done his own adventure. And I loved his book because it's one of those books you get and it's like about so thick and you think, oh God, it's going to take me forever to get through this book. And then you start reading the book. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I need to go back and read that page. Oh, I need to read that page. Next thing you know, half the book is folded. The corners are folded over. It's that great of a book because you want to go back and read it some more. So by all means, look up Russell Westcott. And then last but not least is my favorite, Yurik Bohol. And he's an investor, and he's the founder of Street Smart Real Estate Investing Club, which Shaw-Roco is a proud member of. And he's just one of those gentlemen that helps you take your business to the next level, where with some marketing stuff, and I have a strong background in marketing and business as well as sales, but it's nice to be able to brainstorm with a team of people, because when you've been in an industry like I have for 23 years in HVAC, and then you go into a different industry, my marketing or sales techniques that I used back then might not work so well here. So it's kind of nice to have this group to work with and brainstorm with. So I'm very much excited and proud member of the Street Smart Real Estate Investing Club. So yeah, that kind of sums up my weekend. It was like 10 hours, amazing interviews, loved it. Had to watch some of the replays. So yeah, that was my weekend, guys. And then next, we're going to talk about frequently asked questions. So as an investor, I interview families trying to get into our rent-to-own program. whatever their situation is. So sometimes you sit down with a family and they have all these questions. So I wanted to think that tonight this would be a good thing, because if you're out there and you're seeing my video and you're thinking of being a rent-to-own person, but you really don't know what, you have all these questions and you don't know how to answer them. So I thought tonight I would try and go through some answers that I have, some questions I've got and some answers. And then as well, if you have any other questions out there, by all means, you can go to my website, you can text me, message me, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to meet with you or go over your questions with you. And I have a nice little rent-to-own package if anybody's interested in our rent-to-own program, and it kind of goes through everything step by step in a little bit more details. So with that being said, we'll start off. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, my credit isn't great, can I still qualify? And the answer is, it depends on your situation. But the good news is that even though you may have been turned down by a financial situation, we want to help you become a homeowner. And so when we sit down and we look at your situation and we go over your finances, your credit card debt, whatever it may be, and we start going through it all, then from there, after we go through it, like if you and I go through it, then I have a mortgage broker, and then she can come in, or he can come in. I have a team of mortgage brokers I work with. So at the end of the day, as long as you're honest and upfront with us what your financial situation is, and I know that's tough, it's really tough to write on a piece of paper or have a conversation with someone and say, here's my financial situation. You might not always feel comfortable just being open with me and honest with me to tell me where you're at, because you might have some credit card debt and you're embarrassed by it. That's fine, but I do need to know these things, and if you don't tell me, then you have to tell my mortgage broker, because she will find out or he will find out, because they do the credit checks and stuff like that. So you definitely, like I said, even though your credit is good, there's always something we can do. I just need you to be honest with me moving forward, kind of thing. So that's a common question. Another question I get asked is, who pays for the regular maintenance of the property? Some people are worried that all of a sudden, okay, well, I'm renting to own it, but I can only afford this much a month for my rent and my option consideration. Then at the end of the day, what if there's other maintenances? So the answer to the question is, you're actually responsible for the upkeep of the property, because this is your home, and you're saving and you're working towards taking over and buying that home from us in like 2 to 3 years, 4 years, whatever your situation may be. So at the end of the day, it helps you to know what it's like to move into home ownership. So you are responsible for the upkeep of the property. And as far as with that, if you do any improvements in the house, whatever you want to do, that increases the value of your investment. At the end of the day, you get the value in that. So it's always nice to upkeep your property and make sure, because a lot of people move into a place and the home, and then they don't realize what kind of regular maintenance you need. You always need to, and we can sit down and go over a list of maintenance items and what to keep track of and so on and so forth. I would always like to say, for me, your mechanical room is really important. And I can put that little blurb out there because, as some of you know, my day job is I'm an HVAC outside salesperson. So biggest thing I have with my day job is when homeowners call me, it's because their furnace, they have this issue, that issue. One of my dealers, they take care of the homeowner, but then I get a call because they weren't happy because a filter was plugged or something like that. It's always, a lot of issues are homeowner issues. So make sure you know how to maintain your equipment by having somebody come in and annually take a look at it. And in a further live seminar down the road, I'll go into different maintenances with the house and stuff like that and what to look for. Another question I get asked is property taxes. So they want to know who pays the property taxes as well as the insurance, and is that included in their monthly payments? So we actually pay the property tax. So while it's under the rental agreement or the lease option agreement, we pay the property taxes as well as we cover the property insurance. So we insure the property, the building itself. Then it becomes your responsibility to pay for your tenant insurance and make sure your contents are covered. So that's how it works. Like I said, we take care of the property tax and building insurance. You look after the contents insurance. And then, okay, I have to laugh because I didn't think my phone was going to work for questions. So I did have one question came up in Uruk. That's really cute. I was wondering if someone was going to ask me that. They're like, where's the wine glass? So just so you know, it's kind of one of those situations where it's my second Facebook Live and you're kind of nervous or whatever. And I think we should do some bloopers one day because it would be funny. But it's kind of like eye on the prize. So I have my glass of wine here and it's for me to drink once I'm done my live here. So, So thank you for your question. Where's my glass of wine? So other questions. What happens if like say the tenant buyer is asking me, what happens if I don't want to buy the house at the end of the program? So all of a sudden we come to the end of the 3 years and something happens and they say, I don't want to buy it. So we would sit down and we would discuss what the reason is. Like, is it just a matter of, say for instance, you need another year to have your credit repaired and to get what you need to then qualify for the purchase of that house? If that's the case, then, you know, we can work something out and we can add a year to it. The other thing is as well, when the time comes towards like the end of the 2 years or 3 years, whatever the program is, we work with you like 6 to 9 months before that with our mortgage broker to make sure you're set up for the financing. So when the end of the term comes, you are ready to rock and roll. You qualify for the financing, so on and so forth. So we stay on top of that with you to make sure you're good to go. We don't ever want to have homeowners stuck in a position that at the end of the 3 years, all of a sudden they don't qualify. That would just be horrible. So we work with you and we have other credit specialists if that's what you need, depending what it needs. So we make sure that you're good to go. But if all of a sudden you just decide that you want to walk away forever for whatever reason, I'm sorry to say that in that case like that, then you walk away for your money. You don't, the money you've given us down and your monthly considerations, that now it's non-refundable. So that's one thing that we want to work with people who are committed and are serious about their home ownership, and we will work hard with you to make sure that happens at the end of the day. So that's another question. One other one I have is, how long does the process take? Well, the process from the time we go over, we have a phone interview, then you get a sheet to fill out. We meet together, we go through everything, we kind of get you qualified, then you meet with the mortgage broker, and then we see from there what we can, you know, afford on a house, kind of thing, which house to go to look at, and then we get you in the house, and we move down the steps of the process. And that normally, to get you into your home, it can be a 2 to 3 month process, just all depending on how your situation is, how fast we can, you know, move the process along. But usually it's typically a 2 to 3 month process to get you in your house. So another question I get asked is, are we allowed pets? So I always have to say, yes, of course, you can totally have pets. Remember, it's your house, and you're going to be buying the house from us at the end of the day. So for you, more than welcome. I have dogs. I'm a big pet fan. So yeah, by all means, you're definitely allowed to have pets. It's yeah. So it's your house. That's how we work, you know, moving forward. And I hate to say this, but that's all the questions I have. I was expecting people to send me a lot more questions. So I was just going to say here. The big thing, I'll just read a sheet I have that I send out to homeowners, because this is kind of I'll show you a little sheet here that I've created, that I've, from one of my classes, got some ideas. And it's basically the benefits to a rent-to-own. So with a rent-to-own, the benefits are you get to build equity while living in the property, and with it being working towards your own home. So any of the yeah, so sorry, I'm not good at reading and talking at the same time. You get to say goodbye to paying rent, so no more rent payments because your money is going towards your home phone. Pride in ownership. You're essentially a homeowner now, so it's something that you can take pride in your home, and like I said, take care of your home, maintain your home, and then there's different options at the end of the program. So that's some of the benefits to you. What we do. So we help you move into a permanent home of your choice, again, 2 to 3 months once you're accepted into our program. We require an additional initial deposit towards your new home just to get you started. Then we work together and we customize a program for the home that best suits your financial and personal needs. We work with you to build your final deposit, so at the end of the term, you now qualify for that home and you have your down payment towards purchasing the house from us. So that's our end goal. It's to help you save money with the initial deposit and your monthly option consideration. So at the end of the term, you now have your money you need to get into that home. So it's kind of like a forced savings plan, to make it easy. Also a flexible deposit building option to ensure your home ownership. So kind of like what I just talked about. And then it's like, how do you qualify? You complete the questionnaire and a proof of initial down payment. We meet with you and me, first of all, and like I said, and then you meet our lending team to discuss purchasing strategies. And then at the end of the day, what are you responsible for? Make your monthly payments on time, big one. Provide insurance on your possessions, so your content insurance that I talked about earlier, as well as you pay your utility bills, keep the maintenance of your new home, and then at the end of the day, you get to enjoy your new home. So, yeah, thank you, everyone. I feel like I kind of ran through that quick, but that's all the questions I had. So, thank you very much, everyone, for joining my second Facebook Live, and stay tuned for next week. It's going to be Wednesday at 7, I think it's October 25th, at 7 p.m. And if you have any other questions, you can come to my website at www.Shaw-Roco Solutions.com. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye.